I want you to meet my best friend today. My best friend is called Google. If I ever get stuck with a question, Google gives me all the possible answers. Now you're wondering, why the hell am I talking about Google and not about motorcycles? Because today I have questions. What are scramblers and what do they actually do? For the former, Google says that scramblers belong to a space where they take the goodness of street bikes and dirt bikes and sit in the middle. To help me with the latter, I have with me the all-new Triumph Scrambler 400X. Before we start exploring, I want to remind you that the Scrambler 400X is based on the same platform as the Speed 400. However, it's 30,000 rupees more expensive than the 2.33 lakh price tag of the Speed 400. So what do you get at this price tag? Let's find out. I really like this engine. It's not as powerful as the 390 Duke and it's actually pretty usable even for a beginner. In this case, you have the same engine making the same power and torque as the Speed 400. I did face some refinement issues during the Speed 400 ride, but here Triumph has added a fair bit of rubber below the pegs to smoothen things out there. The handlebar though feels slightly buzzy at 80 km per hour, but I assure you, it won't spoil your riding experience. Cruising between 100 and 120 km per hour should not be a problem if you are of the touring kind. Google also says that scramblers accelerate well, and this one does too. A smaller sprocket at the front with a slightly different map is how Triumph has checked that box. How is it different is something that we'll only understand once we do a proper back-to-back V-box run of the Scrambler and the Speed. To finish things off, the fan came on quite often during this ride and I did feel the hot air on my legs, but it's not barbecue hot. I will also blame it on the 41 degrees Celsius temperature reading around here, but it's nothing to worry about. All in all, no major complaints here. Let's talk about ergonomics and the most asked question around it, and that is seat height. I firmly believe that anything above 805, 810 mm will feel tall for most riders. Sure, the narrow profile of the motorcycle helps, but it is a tall motorcycle. Now, most of you guys will find yourselves tiptoeing in city-to-city traffic, but once the roads open up, there is a sense of comfort almost immediately. The wide handlebar, the position of the pegs, the overall rider's triangle is really comfortable and it should feel okay over long distance touring too. Long wheelbase. A long wheelbase might mean stability, but it usually compromises handling. Personally, handling was probably the strongest attribute of the Speed 400 and it isn't different in the Scrambler's case. What a beautiful handling motorcycle. So easy to steer, so much fun around fast corners. A good set of tires will make this even better, I feel, but the way the motorcycle responds to your inputs and never feels out of line, it's actually incredible. Even with the bigger tire at the front and an increase in weight, the Scrambler is a pretty impressive motorcycle. Let's talk about ride quality. Now, the suspension units are the same as the Speed 400, but the internals have been reworked to suit the character, the personality of this motorcycle. Now, there's also increased travel, but to really test that, you have to go through some really bad patches of road. I am at Tamini Ghat and the roads around here are absolutely incredible. And around here, the feeling also is really nice. I remember the setup on the Speed 400 was slightly firm, and the motorcycle was not responding well at higher speeds. That's not the case with the Scrambler 400X. Even at 100 kilometers per hour, the motorcycle feels really nice, really stable, and it definitely has a slightly softer feeling than the Speed 400. Of course, there's a lot more testing that needs to happen once we get the motorcycle for a full review, but first impressions really positive and I like it.
And now the soft-roading / off-roading bit. The reason why I kept you guys hanging is because I want you to ask yourself, how many times do you actually go off-road? Sure, the increased ground clearance, the stock bash plate protection from the knuckle guard will come handy when roads go bad, but an all-out off-roading adventure? Maybe that's the job of an adventure motorcycle. The Scrambler's potential should be restricted to fast soft-roading and mild off-roading. Don't like slowing down on a bad patch of road? No problem. Don't like traction control and ABS intervention? Can be figured out here. But there are other motorcycles that off-road really well, specific to the job. And I also hear there's one motorcycle that's getting ready.
So, is the Scrambler 400X a scrambler? Yes, it is. Also, Triumph's been doing this for a really long time and they clearly know what they're doing. So yes, it is a scrambler. Enough ground clearance, decent amount of travel on the suspension, bigger front wheel, dual purpose tires, bash plate and knuckle guards as standard, so on and so forth. The one thing that's missing here, spoke trims. And while you might think of it as a very important point in the Scrambler resume, I personally think otherwise. Tube spoke trims are a pain in the bum and they go against convenience. For soft-roading and scrambling, these alloys should work just fine, and Triumph are so confident about this setup that they don't even have spoke trims in their accessories catalog.
Before I forget, the quality is brilliant, top-notch. I did raise my eyebrows when I first saw the paint of the Scrambler during the official launch in June, but today that issue is rectified. Such a fantastic job.
Above and beyond everything, the question really is the Triumph Scrambler 400X a fun motorcycle to ride? Personally, I think it is. Remember at the start of the video, I spoke of how Scramblers take the goodness from a street motorcycle, they take the goodness from a dirt motorcycle and meet in the middle. The Scrambler 400 does that really well. I also feel Scramblers take 50% from each genre and try to excel in that space. For example, is this a 100% city motorcycle? No, it's not, but it will do well in the city. Is this a 100% tourer? No, it's not, but it will still do those highway runs. Is this a 100% adventure? No, it is not, but it will still take you places. You feel me? Having said that, I still feel the Speed 400 is definitely a better motorcycle only if you're looking at city usage. But if your commute involves some kind of highway run, if your commute involves going through a bad patch of road, and if you really don't like slowing down at those places, I feel the Scrambler 400X at rupees 2.63 lakh ex showroom is fantastic value for money. Please test ride this when you go to a Triumph showroom, and Triumph promises 100+ dealerships by March 2024. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about the motorcycle. Tell me your favorite feature and we'll have a conversation in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Varun Painter and I will see you later.
This legends are made. Yeah, I am a legend. This legends are made. Yeah, I am a legend. This legends are
मजा आ गया.
made.